It's time to relax, grab a drink, pull up a chair by the hearth, and have a seat in the Skald's Circle to listen to the tale of The Ass, the Table, and the Stick from English Folklore, as told by Mynogan.
And Casimir. As a special treat, this story is being told in the style of our live in-person shows. While this means the story may not be word for word as transcribed, we are certain you will love it.
Before we begin our story, we wanted to remind you that we release new tales for free every week. Our tales are released on Wednesdays. Find out where you can hear them on our website at theskaldscircle.com.
And be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way you'll never miss out on one of our enchanting tales from around the world.
Additionally, if you'd like to hear more of our stories and some of our witty banter, this is your reminder that we perform live stories on Twitch every 3 weeks on Thursdays. You can find more information about that on our Facebook page. Just click on the Events tab.
In addition to a reminder about our live Twitch shows, we have some exciting news. The Skald's Circle will be at the Bristol Renaissance Faire, July 13th and 14th, 27th and 28th, August 10th and 11th, and August 31st through September 2nd. We would love to see you there.
Now, there's an important fact you need to know about England. It's that every young boy about 12 years old or younger, his name is Jack.
Indeed, every single one.
It's really weird, but it's how it is. Now, one day there was a young boy, about 12, whose name was Jack, as we've established. He was known as a liar, a little bit of a rabble-rouser, if you will. So, every time he would tell a lie or cause some mischief, his father would take up a nearby stick and begin to beat him with it. It's the logical thing to do if you're in England, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
The logical thing.
Now, one day Jack told a lie and his father began to beat him, and Jack didn't like that. So he started crying, tears running down his face and running from home. And as he ran, and he ran, and he ran, boom, right into a door.
And from out of the other side of that door, out stepped an old woman. And she looked at Jack and said, "Jack, what is it that you're doing running into my door?"
I was running, and I was crying, and my father, he beat me with a stick. I didn't know what to do.
Jack, your face is very hard, and you've dented my door.
I know.
Now, I think that to repay me for the damages, that you are going to stay with me for a year and a day.
Oh, okay, Granny.
And I'm going to teach you how to be a good little boy and do all of your chores around the house, like cooking and cleaning and doing the dishes and all of that.
Okay.
And so Jack stayed with the old woman for a year and a day. And at the end of that time, the old woman took Jack aside and said, "Now, Jack."
Yes, Granny.
"You have done a very good job staying with me for all of this time."
Yes, I'm a good boy.
You definitely are. You have learned how to be a very good boy. And I think that you have earned a reward.
Oh, like money?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Come out back to the stables with me. I have something to show you.
Why?
Just trust me.
Is this going to be like a put the gun against Star on its head moment?
No, never.
Okay.
And so the old woman took Jack out to the stables. And in the only occupied stall, there was a donkey.
Ooh, a donkey.
But Jack, this is a magical donkey.
Yeah, I can see that.
What you have to do is you have to go up to the donkey and grab it by the ears.
Why?
And then you pull.
Hey-ha!
And from the donkey's mouth poured a pile of gold coins.
Oh, it is magic.
See, I told you it was a magical donkey, Jack.
I definitely believed you the whole time.
Now I believe that it is time for you to go home back to your father.
I have a question, Granny.
Yes.
So, when I asked if it was money, wasn't the answer actually yes?
No, because I'm giving you the donkey, not the gold coins.
Oh, semantics.
Yes.
Now, here's an important scientific fact for you. When you're running after being beaten by your father, you move much faster than when you're leading a donkey.
Yes, science.
So as Jack was returning back home leading this donkey, it started to get dark, and he didn't want to walk in the dark, because that's how you get robbed. So Jack went up to the inn after having stabled his donkey and said, "Mr. Innkeeper, I would like a room, please."
"Oh, well, Jack, you're more than welcome to stay in the common room, but I don't think you could afford one of our rooms here."
Oh, I can. I just left my money in the stable. Now, this was a weird thing to say. You don't leave your money in the stable. That's how somebody goes and steals it because, there's nobody there watching it. But Jack went out to the stable, and the innkeeper followed him, creeping along like a very suspicious individual, but not being seen because he was crouching.
It's true, that's how it works.
It's science right there again. So Jack went up to his donkey, pulled its ears, and then there was a loud hee-haw.
Hee-haw!
And gold coins rained from its mouth. He ran back to the inn, the innkeeper having made it there back before him, mind you, and threw all the coins at the innkeeper and said, "Is this enough?"
Yes, it is, Jack. I think that you can afford our very best room. In fact, it's ready for you right now.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Innkeeper. So Jack was very tired and went to bed. The innkeeper went down into the basement, pulled an identical-looking donkey as Jack's donkey, and then took it back upstairs.
Yes, the basement donkey.
Do you not have a basement donkey?
I don't, actually.
Oh, well, that makes one of us.
Apparently.
And the next morning, Jack woke up stretched and went, "Today's gonna be a good day." And then he took the donkey from the stable. Now, it should be noted that in the middle of the night, the innkeeper replaced the donkey with that other donkey, which is unfortunate to Jack. But Jack didn't notice at that point. They looked the same, so not his problem. Jack began to go back home, leading this magic donkey with him. And he goes up to his father and says, "Father, Father, Father, I've got a donkey."
Welcome back, Jack. You've only been gone for a year.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You said you have a magic donkey?
Yeah, do you want to see what it does?
Is this another lie, Jack?
No, it's real. We're going to have money and be rich and live happily ever after.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, prove it.
So Jack goes up to the donkey, grabs its ears and pulls.
Hee-haw!
And nothing happens. Jack's father picks up the stick and says,
"Jack."
No, it's real. So Jack goes up to the donkey, pulls even harder on its ears.
Hee-haw!
And nothing happens. Jack's father's getting antsy at that point, hitting the stick in his hand very menacingly.
Jack?
No. So Jack goes up to the donkey, pulls on the ears as hard as he can, and there's the loudest.
Hee-haw!
And the ears come off clean in his hands, and the donkey dies.
Jack!
Jack's father takes his stick and gives him a good whack, and Jack begins crying and he's running till boom, right into another door.
And from out the other side of that door steps the carpenter. "Jack, what is it you're doing running into my door?"
"I had a donkey, and then the ears, and then I was crying, and then I got hit, and then I ran, and then whoa, and then a door."
"Oh, Jack, look at what you've done. You've damaged the fine engraving on my door. Do you know how long that took me?"
"No, but that was the most solid door I've ever ran into in my life."
"Well, thank you. But in order to repay the damages that you've done to my door, I think that you should stay with me for a year and a day, and I will teach you how to do carpentry work."
Okay.
"Well, good." And so Jack stayed with the carpenter for a year and a day, learning all of the ins and outs of the carpentry trade. And at the end of that time, the carpenter took Jack aside and said to him, "Jack, you've done fantastic work."
"Thank you. I'm good at craftsmanship now."
"Indeed you are. In fact, I think that you've earned a reward for being my apprentice."
"Oh, a living wage."
"Absolutely not."
Yeah, none of us can get that, can we?
Apparently no. I have something better for you.
"Oh, like what?"
"Come out with me behind the workshed. I have something to show you."
"Oh, all right."
And so the carpenter took Jack out behind the workshed, and standing there was a large, heavy, well-crafted oak table.
Wow.
"Ah, yes, Jack, but this is a magical table."
Yeah, I can see that. It looks like it's made of what, oak?
"Yes."
"Oh, great."
Now what you have to do is you have to walk up to the table, and you say, "Table, set yourself."
And upon saying this, a wondrous number of things appeared on the table, like roasted meat, honey, beer, mead, scones, and things like that. And Jack was quite pleased and said, "Oh, it is magic. I definitely believed you the whole time."
"I told you so. Now, I think it's about time that you run along, then back to your own home."
"Do you have like a dolly or something I can use to transport this?"
No, just carry it. You'll be fine."
So Jack did the responsible thing. He went up to the table and lifted with his back, because he's a child and it doesn't matter.
You'll regret that in 5 years.
Yeah, if that. Now, here's another scientific fact for you. When you're carrying a heavy oaken table, you move much slower than when you're getting beaten with a stick. It just makes sense.
That's closer to science than your first scientific fact was.
You shut your mouth. So as Jack's walking along carrying this heavy oaken table, it starts to get dark and he goes, I don't want to stay out here at night. Oh, but look, it's the same inn I went to before. I liked that place. They gave me a good room.
And it was doing much better this time.
It was very weird how that happened.
Very strange coincidence there.
It's like when you can print your own money, business expenses don't matter as much.
Yeah, true.
So Jack goes up to the inn, carrying his heavy oaken table like a normal person going into an inn, and says, Mr. Innkeeper, I'm so very hungry. What's for dinner tonight?
Oh, we're having ham and eggs.
Ham and eggs? Ham and eggs? Ugh! Disgusting eggs! Blech!
What's wrong with ham and eggs?
They're disgusting. They taste like eggs. I said that.
It's in the name.
So Jack throws down his oaken table and says, Table, set yourself! And all wondrous manner of things appear on it. All the meats and drink that Jack could desire. And the innkeeper looks over from where he's standing and says,
You know, I would be a lot more successful as a businessman if I didn't have to buy food.
You know, that makes sense. Although he can print his own money, so it doesn't really matter as much, I guess.
Additional money to the bottom line or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. So Jack has a wondrous feast, goes to bed, and the innkeeper creeps down into the basement, finding an identical oaken table as the one Jack had brought. Then goes back upstairs, replaces Jack's table with that table.
Hold on.
What?
Does he just have a store of mundane items in case a magical English boy rolls around?
Yeah, don't you?
I really should stock up, I guess.
You should. You don't have the donkey, you don't have the items. What are you doing with your life?
Being a storyteller.
Well, that sucks. Jack wakes up the next morning, stretches and goes, today's going to be a good day. He takes his magical oaken table and leaves going, goodbye, Mr. Innkeeper.
Goodbye, Jack.
And the innkeeper looks very happy. Now Jack goes back home, and there he finds his father. He says, Father, I'm back again.
Been a while, Jack.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. I have a magical table now. We can eat.
Like the magic donkey?
No, this one actually works.
And how exactly are we going to eat a table, Jack?
No, watch, it's magic. So Jack throws down the table and says, Table, set yourself. And nothing happens. His father grabs the stick once more. Jack says, Table, set yourself. And nothing happens. Jack's father goes to swing at Jack, but Jack's a little smarter this time. He's 13, 14? So he begins running before he gets hit. Very smart, that one. And as he's running away from home, he makes his way to a river, bumping into an old man.
Oh, Jack, what are you doing running into me?
My father was going to hit me because I had a table and it did nothing.
Well, that's very sad, young man. But
my life is sad.
Now that you're here, do you think that you'd be able to help me with something?
Oh, sure, old man. What is that?
I'm trying to get to the other side of this river, and I'm having a hard time knocking over this tree. Do you think you could knock it over for me?
Oh, yeah, I'm a strong boy. I can do that. So Jack takes a few steps back and takes a running leap at the tree, and it goes crashing over the river, making a makeshift bridge.
Oh, well, that was mighty fine work there, Jack. I think that I owe you a reward for that.
Oh, money?
No, I don't have any of that.
Oh.
And so the old man walked up to the tree, grabbed one of the branches right off the trunk and snapped it off, and handed it to Jack.
Wow, a stick from the tree I could have got myself, thank you.
You see, but I used my own bit of magic on this one.
Oh.
It's a magic stick now.
But what's it do?
Well, you just take the stick.
Yeah?
You point it at someone.
Uh-huh.
And you say, stick up and beat him.
Oh, I bet I know what that does.
Understand what I'm putting down?
I understand indeed. Thank you, old man.
You're welcome.
Now, Jack grabs a stick and then he has an epiphany. He's wiser now that he's 14 or 15. He goes, you know, every time I stop at that inn, I always lose my magical items. That's pretty weird.
It's only taken him 2 years and 2 days.
You know, that's life, isn't it? So Jack begins a leisurely stroll back to the inn. Now, he's making much better time, mind you. He has no donkey. He has no heavy table. He just has this light stick. So the sun is still high in the sky by the time he makes it there. And he notices that the inn is doing much, much better than it was before. They have fine embroidery. The building looks really nice. Got a new paint job, mind you. And Jack goes, that makes sense. So he goes up to the inn, and the innkeeper's wearing the most wonderful clothing he's ever seen. Jack says, "Hello, Mr. Innkeeper, I'm back."
"Oh, well, greetings, Jack. Please make your way inside."
Now, at this point, the innkeeper sees Jack's stick, and he's already reaching under his desk for an identical-looking stick he was keeping there, just in case for this moment.
Yes, of course.
"Mr. Innkeeper, do you want to see what the stick does?"
Absolutely, Jack. I would love to see it."
So Jack holds up the stick, points it at the innkeeper, and says, "Stick! Up and beat him!" And the stick goes flying from his hand and begins to hit the innkeeper over and over and over again.
"Oh, Jack, please, no, make it stop."
"Are you going to give me back my magic items?"
"Yes, please take them. I don't need them anymore."
So Jack calls off the stick and gets back his magic donkey, his magic table, and he already has the magic stick, so that's not a worry at all. And he goes, "Don't do it again."
"I won't. I promise."
"Good." So Jack goes back home then with his magic donkey, magic table, and magic stick and says, "Father, I have returned, and look what I got. A magic donkey, a magic table, and this magic stick."
"Oh, magic like the other 2 times, Jack."
"Yeah, do you want me to demonstrate?"
"Sure."
So Jack points the stick at his father and says, "Stick! Up and beat him." And it goes flying from his hand and hits him over and over and over again.
"Oh, Jack, no, please make it stop."
"Stick up and beat him!" And the stick continues to hit him over and over and over again.
What?
"Stick up and beat him! Over and over and over again." Until his father dies on the ground.
What?
No, don't worry, the story's not over yet.
What?
For you see, at this moment, Jack remembers that he had a lady love that he has completely forgotten about for the last 2 years.
I'm sure she hasn't moved on at this point.
No, she hasn't. For he goes up to her. She's sitting down under a nearby tree, right? And Jack says to her, "You're too poor for me. I don't love you anymore."
What?
And she begins to cry diamonds because she's so upset, like a good English girl does.
Wait.
What?
So she can cry diamonds?
Yeah.
And she's still poor?
Yeah, because, fun economic fact for you. Diamonds had no value until the 1900s when the jewelry industry decided to make them have value.
We're an educational show, everyone.
That's your fun fact of the day. Now, after this, some of the nearby girls in the village heard Jack say this, and they went, "Ooh, we should all gather in the town square, kneel down, and then pull all the money from our pockets." So that's what they did. And Jack was looking around and went, "That's a pretty good haul right there." So he looked at the stick in his hand, looked at the girls and said, "Stick, up and beat him."
No!
It gets better. The stick hits all of them on the head, over and over and over again, until they're all knocked out. Then Jack runs around like a little rat, grabbing all of their money, presents it to his lady love and says, "You're now the richest girl in the village, and I love you." And that is the story of the ass, the table, and the stick from English folklore.
No! That's not how this works! That's not how any of this works!
I'm sorry, that's how it is.
Fine.
That's life. Thank you for listening to our story. And as we said, that is the tale of the ass, the table, and the stick from English folklore. Thank you for listening to our story. Before we talk about anything else, we need to address a saddening fact. Every year, more and more of these stories vanish from collections, forever to be lost to time. Our mission at the Skald Circle is to keep these stories alive for generations to come. If you want to help support our mission, we recommend taking a look at our Patreon page as noted in the description below. For even $1 a month, you can help us keep these stories alive, while also earning great rewards. Also remember to subscribe to us on your podcast app, and leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed the story.
A special thank you to all our Patreon supporters for their support this month. Without your contributions, we wouldn't be able to continue these stories, and we truly appreciate it.
Visit thescaldcircle.com or our Facebook page to stay up to date with all of our current events, news, and much more. Not only that, you can also visit our story archive of every tale we've ever told. It's sorted by origin and region for the convenience of your listening pleasure.
Once again, we want to thank you for listening to our story.